Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my last video I suggested that perhaps the Seiko Monster at 500 bucks is overpriced for the build. And a lot of you felt that it is. I think a lot of us are more inclined to see the Seiko Monster as a $200 everyman watch. I think there was pretty much agreement on that. I appreciate your responses. So I guess the next question is, what is the best Seiko you can buy right now? In some ways it's impossible to make an absolute answer because everyone has different needs, different tastes, but I do want to explore a couple of ideas. For me, the most value watch you can get is probably the Seiko SBDC 051 here, also called the 1965 reissue 62 Mas. And what's happening is you can get these for about $750, maybe a little less. And what's happening is by the time you get an upgrade on your Seiko Monster in terms of a bracelet and sapphire, you're spending $600-700 on a Monster. And so here at around $750, you're getting Zaratsu polish on the case. You're getting a 42.6 wide bezel, about 49.5 lug to lug. Zaratsu polish on the case, as I said. Plus, you can change this bracelet. You may not want to swim with a polished bracelet. You can change that. You know, Strapcode has a curved 20mm bracelet, an Oyster for this. And the other thing I want to say about this is that you're getting very dramatic lume against the dial, even in daylight. I think that makes it desirable. And the proportions are very nice for this. And so what happens is when you take into account the quality of the bracelet and the sapphire and the 50-hour power reserve, it's a perhaps the best Seiko you can buy right now. Now there is a blue one which costs about $50 more, and I think only Nomen Watches sells the blue if you want to go blue. And would I buy the green? I love the green, but you see the green would compete with the black. You know, certain clothes that I would wear with the black would compete, so that's not going to happen. I could make a video on not getting watches that compete with one another. Now, for those of you with smaller wrists, the SBDC 065 plays a lot smaller, even though it's 44mm. And so I would say this would be runner-up. The 061, which is black dial, is about 8, maybe 780. And then I've seen the Cyan Blue dials shown here between 900 and 1050. And so it brings us to another question. In my experience, there would be another watch to consider, because in my experience, Seiko fans are diver watch fans, and all things point to the Seiko MM300. Now the MM300 used to be Hardlex, used to be $1,700. Now it's sapphire and it's $27. Is that the best Seiko you can buy right now? If you are someone who doesn't like having a lot of watch choices, if you don't want to have an SBDC 065, an 051, and an 053, if you for the cost of these three watches, you could just get the new model. What is it? The SBDX 023, and so of course you're going to get a higher, a better movement. I don't think it's regulated though. And in my experience, all things point to the MM300. I've had it. Wasn't totally in love with it. I liked it a lot. The thing that's crazy about that watch, when I see it on video or pictures, I go, oh my gosh, I got to have that watch. Now, as I was saying earlier, I don't like having watches that compete with other watches. But I find that the MM300 would compete too much with the Seiko Tuna. This is the 031 here, which, like the MM300, has a black bezel. And so for me, I'm probably not going to fork out close to $3,000 on the MM300. But right now, at the $750 price point, I would probably have to say, if I had no watches and I was starting out, I would probably skip the Monster and go with the 051. Tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. What is the best Seiko to buy right now? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm out.